What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon and this is the Theblindfishkeeper. Today I'm gonna give you a rundown of the African tank. So this is a mixed African cichlid tank. It's 150 gallons. I have got a Sun 704B canister filter, an Odyssey, I think it's a CFS 700 canister filter, an Aqua Clear 110, and a Airstone in the bottom of the tank. And it's way overkill on the filtration, but I do it more so for the flow. It keeps the bottom clean. So on the bottom, I've got a mix of aragonite sand, white and black, crushed coral, and pool filter sand. The rocks are river rocks from a local landscaping company, and the plants are from Elite Cichlids. I have one, I believe it's a Haiger heater. I think it's a 500 watt heater heating the whole tank. I keep it heated to 78 degrees. Parameters usually stick between 7.6 and 8. And the nitrates are usually hovering around 20. Lighting the tank, I've got two Kessel Tuna Suns. And I think it's put together a really nice tank. So in the tank there is a mix of Africans, a couple from Lake Victoria and some from Lake Malawi, and then one lovely Madagascar Cichlid, which I guess we'll start with first. So this is my Madagascar Cichlid, also known as a Starry Night. Obviously he is not an African cichlid, but they tend to do very well in African tanks. Also in South American tanks, they've got temperament and muscle to back themselves up. And no one really messes with him. He's got his spot in this tank and he hunkers down there and just hangs out. But he's a gorgeous boy. He's about 2 years old now. And I love him to death. So this guy is my Malawi Trout. He's probably 6 to 7 inches or so, starting to put on his color. I'm guessing he's probably about half grown. He is just a lean, mean cruiser. He doesn't mess with anybody and no one messes with him. Just a really awesome fish. He is a Haplochromis from Lake Malawi. This next one is going to be a correction. A while back I put out a video calling this guy a species 35 or a tomato hap. One of my lovely viewers has helped me narrow it down, and we're pretty sure he is a Pundamilia Moriai. This is a Lake Victorian cichlid. Very beautiful, reds and blacks, black stripes. And until recently, he was the tank boss. He is a little bit over 2 years old now and most likely full grown. That's about as big as they're gonna get. Next here, this is another Lake Victorian cichlid. This is a Zebra obliquitans. Also a beautiful fish. The reds and yellows with the black stripes. The bluey silvery face. A very cool fish, also mostly full grown. I got both of those Lake Victorians at the same time, and they've grown up together. One thing to know about Lake Victorians is if you get a group of any specific fish, you'll only ever have one colored up. Any other males that you have will look exactly like a female. It's just the way the Victorians tend to work. Very cool fish though. This big beautiful boy right here is my dragon blood. He is a peacock from Lake Malawi. Well, I guess he's more of a man-made cichlid, but considered a Malawi peacock. Absolutely gorgeous. He's full grown as well. He was donated to me by my good friend Jerry. He was giving Jerry some trouble in his African tank, and he does pretty well in this one. This is my Moriai blue dolphin. He's a little guy. One of the haps from Lake Malawi. These guys get fairly large, around 10 inches or so. A very uniquely shaped fish once they mature. This little guy, I didn't know when I bought him, but he had a jacked up dorsal fin. We thought it was something that would grow back, but I don't think it is going to grow back. I think it's going to stay jacked up. That's okay, we love him anyway. This is my Borley Eye. I think he's a Quadrimaculatus Borley Eye Benji would be the full name. I just call him Rusty. He is a new acquisition. I just got him about a week ago. And he's doing pretty good so far. This guy right here is a Redtop Aristochromis. This is a brand new fish to me. I'd never heard of him until I saw him in the store. Basically everything I found out about him is you treat him just kind of like a lithobates. But he's a pretty gorgeous fish. We all know OBs when we see them. Here's a little OB peacock. We very fondly call Bumblebee. This guy came from one of my channel partners, Consolidated Fish Farms, Inc. Check out the description for a link to his website. Also, Theblindfishkeeper at checkout will get you 10% off your total purchase. This guy's doing great. He is one of the smallest ones in the tank, but he is not afraid to get right in the mix. He's a typical OB. This next one is a juvenile Lwanda. Also one of my newer guys. I think he's only about 3 inches or so, 3.5, maybe 4 inches. And I'm hoping that he turns into a gorgeous fish. He's still got a lot of growing to do. But I love Lwandas, and had to have one. This guy right here, although he is bright orange, is called a cherry red zebra. This is an Imbuna, also from Lake Malawi. Imbunas are probably the most aggressive, in my opinion, of the African cichlids, and a lot of people will tell you not to mix them with your peacocks and haps. And he has a time or two caused some problems and had to be put in timeout, but for the most part he gets along just fine. He's gorgeous, And I think he knows his place in the hierarchy now, and we're not really having any more trouble out of him at the moment. These fish get pretty big for an Imbuna. 6 to 8 inches, I think, is their max. I've seen some pretty large ones before I went blind, and they've always been one of my favorites. So this is a bicolor 500. This is a peacock from Lake Malawi. Also an absolutely gorgeous fish. One of my other favorites of the peacocks. He's a brand new one also. So I'm still learning his attitude, and I think he's fit in pretty well. I haven't had any word that he's been getting bullied or he's doing any bullying. I know he eats well and he seems to always be out and about, so he's doing great. So this little guy right here is a Bucachromis spectabilis. This guy came from Southeast Cichlids. Thank you, Butch. I love the Bucachromis species. These are haps from Lake Malawi. They get very large. I think this guy is going to be somewhere around a foot long or so when he finally grows up. He's starting to put on some color as well right now, and I cannot wait to see what he turns into. Alright, this little guy here is one of my favorites. Also, this is an electric blue Ali. This is a variant of the Moriai, which is a hap from Lake Malawi. He's a little bit smaller guy in the tank, but fits in. He doesn't cause any problems. He just goes about his business and loves life. Here we go with the Nimbochromis venustus, or the giraffe cichlid. This guy is probably 5-6 inches, and they usually max out around 10 or 11 inches as well. He's a hap from Lake Malawi. Very cool fish. Gotta be kind of careful with the Nimbochromis species. They can be pushy as they get older. But so far so good with this guy. He hasn't really shown much of an aptitude for being a jerk, so keep my fingers crossed. Here's another peacock from Lake Malawi. This is a Ngara flametail. This is probably my all-time favorite of the African peacock cichlids. Ever since the first time I saw one a little over 10 years ago, I was absolutely smitten by these fish, and they still remain one of my favorite peacocks, if not my favorite peacock to this day. He is just cool. So last but not least, we're going to end up on probably one of the more iconic African cichlids. This is a Taiwan Wreath. Just an absolutely beautiful fish. They get quite large as well, around 10 inches or so. But they're gorgeous with that blue face and the blue kind of running up the top of their body towards their dorsal, and the yellow with the black stripes and the red anal fin. Just stunning, stunning fish. Now, this is probably my 4th or 5th Taiwan Wreath I've ever had. My previous one died when I had my heater mishap late last year. But all the other ones I've ever had have turned out to be absolute jerks and beat up everything that they could see, or were always fighting. So I'm hoping I can get one that's peaceful and will not cause problems, because I love this fish and I'd love to keep him around. That's one thing about the Africans with me. You know, all these fish are very dear to me, and every single one of them in this tank has a name. But if they cause problems, they're out. I don't try to, you know, coddle it along and see what happens. I might separate them for a little while and add them back to the tank. But if they continue to cause a problem, I don't fight it. I don't try this, I don't try that, I don't try. If there's a problem, they're gone. I just, not being able to see what's going on in the tank, and the people that help me are not fish people like I am. I have to have a peaceful tank if it's gonna work. And so when the aggression levels start kicking up, if I can't remedy it in 1 or 2 attempts, the fish is gone that's causing the problem. So there we have it. This is my 150-gallon mixed African cichlid tank. And I've done it, I guess, in a way that most people will say doesn't work. But it's working for me right now, and it's a pretty striking tank. I love it. It's in my bedroom, and one of my favorite tanks all around. I've dedicated probably most of my fish career, my in-depth fish hobby, to Africans. A good solid 10 years or so of nothing but African cichlids before this most recent fish room that I've got set up now. So the Africans are very near and dear to me, and hopefully I'll be able to continue keeping them. But we all know African cichlid tanks tend to work until they don't. Anyway, guys, so this is mine. Let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments how I'm doing, what you think of the tank. Also, guys, if you would, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. I am so close to 500 subs, and I'd really like to get there. It's a milestone for me that I'm really anxious to hit. So share it out and help me get there, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, check me out on Instagram, Theblindfishkeeper. And as I said earlier, go check out Consolidated Fish Farms Inc. The link's in the description. So that's going to do it for me today, everyone. As always, y'all take care of yourselves, and I will catch you in the next one.